welcome to Super Grads Podcast. My name is Abhishek Leela Pandey. Today I have two very special guests, Prateek and Shruti, and I would like both of you to introduce yourselves to our viewers.
Hi everyone, Prateek here. I'm Ahmedabad graduate from 2018 batch. I also scored 100 percentile in my first attempt at CAT. Since then, I've been working in Bangalore in marketing as a profession. Currently working with Swiggy.
Hello, I'm Shruti Maheshwari and I've been a CAT 99.2 percentiler. It's been 15 years that I'm into this industry and training students like you all into the quantitative ability LRDI domain.
Great. So today we are here to discuss about the most common question which everybody has, that why one should do an MBA.
Okay.
So I think there are many pointers and we should discuss
Yes, sure.
one by one all of them. So Prateek, from your experience, what do you think?
Good. Yeah. So back in 2015, when I started preparing for CAT and hence MBA entrance, that was obviously the first question that even I considered, right? And since then, for the last 8 years, I think this is possibly the most asked question from me, and also the most confused question among the aspirants, right? So I think the most important thing to address here is that why not to do an MBA? We should at least get that out of the picture so that we can actually address the problem statement at hand, right? So from what I've interacted with people, the most common ones and the most obvious ones that I hear from people is that either they are frustrated with what they are doing, they're not liking the job that they are doing. I hear a lot of people say that they don't really know what to do, and hence MBA seems like an option to go for.
Like the herd mentality.
Herd mentality, like nahi pata kya karna hai.
Well, I would like to add on to it, but the way back in 2008 when I'm talking about, it was a similar scenario, like you've done something and your parents ask you to do an MBA because the big thing that time was, I don't know how true it is right now, but big thing that time was paisa zyada milega.
Yeah, obviously.
How can you relate
which is
it
true,
to?
Which is true even now. So honestly, like even when people are deciding to consider an MBA, the average package plays a big point. Even when people join an MBA, even from the top B schools, the package and the CTC, it always plays on your mind. It's natural to feel that way, but it cannot be a reason for you to do an MBA. It could be an outcome.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I always used to talk to my parents like, this should not be the reason, Papa, that I should do an MBA because of money. But that can be really a byproduct of me doing an MBA. Correct. But that time, parents never used to understand. I don't know what parents feel right now. I think, Prateek, you might add more to this, the vision of parents right now, what it is.
So, as of now, I'm not a parent, so I really can't comment on that. But to be honest, I believe that things have changed, honestly.
Definitely.
Because of advent of social and internet so much, the information is flowing a lot better. And hence, people in general are aware that there are a lot more opportunities to explore. And hence, I personally feel, this is what I have seen, parent pressure is not that high anymore. But you go through a lot of social pressure. So when you have your friends, batchmates from undergrad, school friends going into like really good colleges or going abroad to study, that becomes a social pressure, right? That also clouds your decision making. So TLDR.
What I have seen in the past, from my experiences, like, how do you think, Prateek, like choosing a good college, a top 20, 25 college for an MBA, or just doing an MBA? But I'm like, even if you're a graduate from a good college, you should go in for a postgraduate from a top 20 or top 25 college.
Okay.
Should it be just about doing an MBA for a degree sake, for social pressure, peer pressure, or whatsoever?
There's one more thing, like once you're a graduate, so how many opportunities do we have, at least in India? So people can go for some civil services, any kind of bank or other railway services. So, and those are very limited. The vacancies are less, and a lot of other variables in which, it becomes very difficult. So people from all the backgrounds, be it humanities, be it art, be it commerce, be it technology, be it mathematics, or whatever. So everybody can do an MBA. Now,
you mean to say a common gateway?
Yes, common gateway, and moreover, that is why we have seen, a steep increase this year. It's increase of around close to 33%.
Yeah.
Like I think 3.5 lakh students, 3.3 lakh students appeared.
They applied. And last year it was 2.5 only. 2.55. So I think somehow people have this, what after graduation? So MBA is the choice. Of course, it's a choice. But here we're discussing why this should be a choice.
Yeah.
Because in the B schools, when you go, there are like some B schools, different B schools have different criteria. IIM Kozhikode asks you to upload a CV just before going to the TI. In other B schools, there's a common practice. You take a folder along with you, and the first page is the CV, the resume, and then there are CV forms as well, resume forms. So in which there are a lot of questions. Why do you want to choose this college? Sometimes it looks like statement of purpose, which is not very common in India, but yeah, it can also be there. In that, the most challenging question is this. So it's in the form, in the CV, and also it is normally the very first question of your interviewer actually asks. So,
and I think many a times your entire interview revolves around this question only.
Right. So basically,
it starts and finishes.
Let me attempt to answer the question. The question, why MBA? Right. So A, I will tell you a little bit about how I decided on that. And B, basis what I have interacted with so many people in the last 7-8 years, I can tell you what generally should be the right approach to take that. Okay. So starting with personally, and that will expand to what people should do. But I was working as a civil engineer in Algeria. So I did my engineering from an IT3C. Post that, I started working in
Algeria. It's
a country in North Africa.
North Africa.
Yeah, right. So I completed my engineering in civil from an IT3C. Started working as a construction engineer. And when I decided to prepare for CAT, I was in Algeria, North Africa. The P0 reason, the primary reason for me to consider going for an MBA was because after working for about 1.5 years, almost 1 year as a civil engineer, I realized that this as an industry, A, is not that intellectual or meritocratic driven. B, I could see that the progress, both in terms of responsibility and B, in terms of financial gains, it would be fairly slow in this industry. Right, and hence then the answer for me was not an MBA. The answer for me was some post graduation. That was so I was clear. Step one, that I wanted to do a post grad. So I went from the broadest situation कि कुछ और करना है, पढ़ाई करनी है, and then post grad. Now post grad, I evaluated multiple options. I evaluated going for Masters in Science, MS from USA, right? I considered MTech, not so much. MS made more sense, but yeah, MTech was one of the options. The reason why I went for an MBA among all these options is that back in my engineering days, I was really into tech. Okay, like even though I was civil engineering, I used to follow tech and gadgets closely, and I used to write blogs about smartphones. Okay. Recommending people about which smartphone to buy. I used to be the tech guru of my campus.
Unboxing the phones.
I wish I started that, but I didn't. It was just writing blogs and telling people verbally. But in my mind, it was like that I have interacted with so many consumers or customers that I would like to be in marketing. So for me, being into gadgets and tech and recommending people about it just made me feel, and now I look about it, that was a really weird reason. But in that point of time, it made sense for me that I, knowing about customers, understanding what decides them to buy or not buy, I thought it connected with sales and marketing. And one very interesting thing happened at that point of time. I was just checking out profiles of all top execs in smartphone companies in India, be it Xiaomi, Samsung, LG, all of them were IIM grads. Okay. And that got me fascinated. To be there, to be like the CEO of a smartphone company in India, you have to have an MBA. And that's how it got connected for me. Not really. So I'll come to that. But and that triggered that, I should do an MBA. And I should do an MBA in marketing. That was how my story connected. In fact, for the longest time, I wanted to work into the smartphone industry in marketing. Okay. So that was my starting of MBA. But coming to the actual question as to why a person should consider an MBA.
But this can be summarized, your answer, which is a very good answer, I would say. See, like, there are events in your life which enlighten you.
Yeah.
Probably motivate you to do something.
Yeah.
For example, you're writing blogs and everything, and you felt, oh, wow, this is some kind of reward mechanism. You'll be getting some comments or something. So this recognition actually drives you to do things.
Sure.
And that can be a possible reason for many people, those who are watching us also. Like, you might be writing blogs, might be creating music, painting, whatever. Probably there would be one event in your life which can enlighten you to pursue something which is is actually going to help you. It's not because of herd mentality. Some किसी ने बोल दिया कर लिया, no, not like that.
हाँ, और एक में तो काइंड ऑफ बोलते हैं ना, मतलब
हाँ,
पेरेंट्स
हाँ,
बोलते थे वो एक
हाँ.
स्पार्क, एक चिंगारी
exactly,
लगनी
exactly.
चाहिए.
Like some people
हाँ.
they invest in stocks,
Stocks,
mutual
yes.
funds. So for them, choosing a finance PG is very obvious.
Obvious,
Yeah.
yes.
So this kind of answer is something which is driven by the
activities you have already done in your life. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
correct.
That is
The
experience
interests
based.
that
that is
you
the
have.
first point I want to tell my viewers, that the first point is, if it is experience driven, that can be one of the very best
Core
answers.
reason.
But the thing is, if you are a fresher, you're in college, and in that case also there can be multiple reasons. So I think we should discuss on that as well.
Yeah.
But
So-
Shruti wants
sorry,
to add,
yes.
add
But
something.
if what I used to think is, but I never used to think about the next year or next 2 years. I used to think about what 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down
Correct.
the line,
Which
wherein
most people don't think about.
yes, which most people, till date also I tell students, if and I am like when I was doing my MBA, it was IIM Shillong which came in, and people never used to go to IIM Shillong because it is probably the newest IIM. But now sitting at this point of time, I would
It's a
like
big
to
name.
tell it's
Yeah.
a big name.
Yeah.
Right.
It's among the top 6-7 IIMs.
Right.
So I think probably not thinking about the present, think 5, 10, 15 years down
Yeah.
the line,
Yeah.
why you want to do this. And that is how.
Okay, so this answer can be summarized as future planning. Future in terms of your finances, or in terms of respect, in terms of social or any kind of financial status. That can also be one of the answers.
Like I mentioned before, right? Being frustrated from your current job should not be a reason for you to consider an MBA. It should be a reason for you to look for other options. Okay, and then if naturally it comes down to an MBA, like it came for me, then it makes sense. So first of all, don't decide basis what you are doing already. Decide basis where would you want to be, like Shruti ma'am mentioned, right? In that specifically, MBA opens up a lot of opportunities for you. What I mean by that is that, so if you're an engineer and you do a post grad in that, it keeps you still in that same zone or same expertise, becoming an expert and a niche expert in that sense. But if you go for an MBA, it opens up so many specializations, so many streams for you to consider. For example, a civil engineer who is doing marketing right now. I have had friends who were a lawyer who got into consulting and now who are in strategy. I have had friends who were a chartered accountant who are now working in marketing or in sales, right? So point is that it completely changes the kind of function or stream or role or specialization that you're working in. If for whatever reason, the first decision that you made at your undergrad level and somehow it has not worked out for you, and hence you would want to explore other opportunities, that's when an MBA or a CAD becomes relevant. Okay.
Yes, and for a fresher, I think if I have to think like a fresher, so I would say somehow you need better networks. Whenever I mean
Yes, I would.
I wouldn't say like the social network, Facebook, not that networking between people, among people. So like we are talking, so it's a network that we are sharing.
Yeah.
So basically,
but I think probably you're talking about the alumni network which we
exactly,
create
exactly.
when
See,
we
what
are
happens when you're undergrad, you pass out of it 21, 22. That's it. And you're not that much exposed to the real world. But after you cross that age, so you look at the world in a very natural way. So at that time, what happens? I have seen somehow, and I was working on one of the mathematical modeling of luck. luck. So luck looks like an abstract concept, but I think it's mathematical. So see, in the cases, like in lockdown, a lot of things happened. People lost their jobs and everything. People who got their jobs got them through two different ways. One was probably the very talented skill and all that stuff is there. The second, which is the most important one, that there are people who know that skills. So it's all about referrals, the references. So people, if you have a skill and nobody knows about that, it's not going to work. So you will become lucky if you have better networks.
Yeah.
And a BA school is a breeding ground for future managers. That's what I believe in. This can be one of the answers which is which is universally acceptable, universally, I would say, viable, even for the freshers.
But
or
even
the
for freshers, and I think
working
even
people.
not for MBA, for any other degree which you talk about, for IIMs, what I have heard is, and I think probably everybody would agree to, is it's not about the studies which you go there, it's just about the alumni base and the network which you build inside an
and there are
IIM.
network building activities which happen over there.
And I think you can easily relate because you've been to IIM
So,
Ahmedabad.
couple of things on that. I totally agreed. The network or the connections that you make there are fairly long term. It definitely helps a lot, right? I myself have a lot of friends from various B schools, top B schools, whom I constantly interact with, right? But in addition to that, while the network could help you get opportunities, subconsciously what it does is that when you are interacting with such really smart people, right, it just changes the way you approach things, it changes the way you think about problems, it just changes the kind of crowd that you sit and interact with. And by default you just up your game, by default you just become smarter, right?
Where you keep uplifting your personality,
so just
by the way
imagine,
you interacting.
Say 10 years ago, the kind of network that I had, the people that I interacted with, versus the people that I interact with right now, there's huge difference. Like, because I'm from Ahmedabad, I've met some biggest names in this industry, the topmost CEOs, because of where I am from and what I have been exposed to at my campus. I met Raghuram Rajan, who came to our campus, who is an alumni from our campus, right? And I could just talk to him like that. I met Harsha Bhogle on campus, right? So the point is that while it helps in terms of getting opportunities, it also uplifts you in your intellect, in your smartness, in your confidence, right?
And I think it builds automatically.
Bhogle,
is himself.
You mentioned that name. There's something I want to add here. For the viewers also, Harsha Bhogle has never played cricket even a single day of his life, but because he has got those kind of communication and legal skills, that he is I would say, one of the best commentators.
Voice of cricket.
Till date I miss his voice. In my times, मैं कह रही हूँ, मेरे era में it was Harsha Bhogle. कि Harsha Bhogle, we miss his voice actually.
Right. So this can also happen. So he's not I would say a manager in true sense, but he had got that hobby, and once he went there, so basically through IIMs, he must have met some really smart people, smart thinking. So he must have.
It gave him confidence and that cushion, right? So think about even if I'm just assuming, but it definitely, like, going to a good B school or a good college for that matter, it gives you a lot of confidence that even if you attempt something, you might fail and you will have some backup for you.
Exactly.
Because of your network. Or
because of your network.
So the confidence booster is amazing.
There's always a plan B. That's the best thing actually. So people can have a hobby, or can have an interest. Like people in EOG undergrad, they might be having a band, their guitarist and all that stuff is happening. And once they go to a good B school, probably they can have a plan B. So they can, and moreover, like as I mentioned, the hobbies and interests. So there's a possibility that you go to a B school and then you get a kickstart. So the kind of package that you get offered is something which you will get offered after 5 or 6 years of service down the line. So you already had, this +5 wala, this,
the base.
So basically you can plan retirement in 40s and you can go to pursue your hobby. If you want to be a musician,
I'm planning to do that.
So this is also very important. That's the future planning basically. Like one of my friends, he has a plan of buying a mountain and having that fruit garden and making jams and jellies. So he's from a B school and
kind of organic.
He says, okay, at 45 I'll retire. I'll have enough money to do this. So this also can be
reliving and pursuing your passion.
Yes.
Enough on the plate for you.
Right.
Yeah, but agreed. However, a kid at his 23, 25 years of age can't really think about that right now. So when we're thinking about decision as to why to go for an MBA or not, I think talking about something that is relevant now at this point of time. Another one that I've seen amongst people, my batch and other people that I've interacted with, is that people, when they have slight entrepreneurial mindset, when they consider that I would want to start something up, or they would want to understand basics of business, or they already have a family business and they want to add value to that, right? A lot of my batchmates were like that. They would come for MBA to get that A, holistic learning, B, obviously the network and the brand image, but C, also to learn from the smartest people and then get back to their course, their business, or start their own business and then grow that. So an MBA is a fairly good starting point for budding entrepreneurs and also for people who are already having a family business. So
Yes.
yeah, it makes
gives
sense.
you all sorts of upliftment, be it financial, be it social, be
Yeah,
it
like
psychological.
I can personally relate this also at my place. Like, we were all, we're completely business family. My brother and all, so did his MBA from an IIM and then really back into his business.
Yeah.
Correct. Because he
I
met
have
so
seen
many
that case
people.
so many times,
He didn't even sit for the placement. Thinking like, I have to build up my own business, but what he built during that 2-year journey was the network.
Yeah. So all in all, we have discussed a lot of things about how and why one should do an MBA, be it a fresher, be it a working professional, or be it a someone who can foresee things. We should also discuss that what should not be done. Look, why there should be answer to why MBA should not be done. Once you get the answer, and by the theory of contradiction, we'll get to the exact reason why it should be done. So let's discuss about that as well.
Sure.
So I have a question. A lot of students do MBA or want to do MBA just because of I'm ABC tag.
Yeah.
Pratik, can you really elaborate on this? But why just an ABC tag? Why not an ABC tag?
So see, okay, what is the problem statement that is they are trying to solve? The problem statement that they are trying to solve is to have a more fulfilling career. That is what everyone is. Ultimately, the point is not that you are doing an MBA for ultimately, okay, money, prestige, etc. Yes, but all of that is linked in some manner to the kind of professional career that you have, right? Because of that, because I am Ahmedabad, I am Bangalore, I am Calcutta. It has become like that holy trinity of sorts. It's purely like brand image that has been created about these colleges. People think that अगर MBA करना है तो वहीं से करना है, नहीं तो नहीं करना है. So the problem with that is that you are setting up an expectation or a goal or a vision which will be satisfied for, I don't know, less than 0.5% people, right?
Yeah, if we talk about numbers, it can be like close to just 1,000 people going into these three colleges.
The problem is that going into IIM ABC cannot be a reason for you to do an MBA. What happens is that when a person is considering going for an MBA, it could be that they want to change the profession that they are in. It could be that they have a family business. It could be that they are trying to get a kickstart in your earnings, like very important point for everyone, right? Now, what's happened? Let's take an example. Okay, Person A is earning say 5 lakh rupees. Just taking some random examples. Person A is earning 5 lakh rupees right now. Theoretically, if suppose he or she gets into IIM ABC, he can earn say 25 lakh rupees or 30 lakh rupees, right? Instead of going to ABC, if they go to I or K, they would say get 20 lakh rupees, for example. Just giving hypothetical examples, right? Would they rather continue with 5 lakhs and then move to 6, 7, 8 lakhs? Or would they rather go to Kozhikode or Indore and take that 20 lakhs? So is it that are they better off being here or ABC, or can they appreciate the space in the middle?
I think that is what the students here should understand.
And even more importantly, the difference that you can have in your career in the long term, 5 years, 10 years down the line, by being from Ahmedabad or by being from Lucknow or by being from IIM Indore, it's not that huge. It's not that आप एक बार college में घुस गए और आपका life is set. You have to continue working harder continuously. Yes. My wife is from IIM Indore. I am from IIM Ahmedabad. She's equally smart or maybe smarter than I am. She's doing equally well, than as good as I am doing, right? So it's just a function of where you end, but it's not just a function of where you end up, but what you start doing after your MBA, that what matters as well.
I think consistency in efforts is
so the fixation with ABC से करना है या IIM से करना है. In fact, for that matter, if you have decided कि MBA करना है, तो it should not be कि IIM से ही करना है. मतलब there are so many other good colleges, SP Jain, JB IMS, XLRI, FMS, brilliant colleges.
In fact, people, creative people, they want to go into
Mica,
advertising or branding.
Mica.
Yeah, is the best one. You know?
I have some really close friends from Mica.
Yes. So it also
all smart people.
HR में apart from XLRI, TIS is a very good college.
So basically, it also depends on what kind of interest do you have.
Yes.
So I'm ABC Even
So
after
the key
being to Holy
point,
Trinity.
yeah. So the key point is that understand why you want to go for an MBA. Don't be fixated with brand names. Imagine your journey, like you said, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. What will be your journey? Where do you want to see yourself? Will an MBA make you reach there? If yes, then go for it. A might make it easier, but K will not make it bad. It will enable you, just it will take maybe a few months or a few years extra. That's about it.
And probably if your efforts are more consistent in everything, so you might be able to match the IIM Ahmedabad candidate as well.
Correct. Exactly. Easily. Yes,
Easily.
Obviously.
Like you said, for your example.
My personal example.
So,
like people have to be a bit more open about it. And the decision of doing an MBA should not be that transactional कि 2 साल में मुझे क्या मिलने वाला है. They should think about कि 20 साल में मैं क्या gain करूँगा इससे. I would really want to summarize and stress on why people should not go for an MBA. While you have very well summarized why to go for an MBA, I think, and I see this coming up again and again from people, from potential MBA aspirants, and hence I'm reiterating this. So stressing on why not to do an MBA. Okay, I mean, I'm not saying why not to do. I'm saying this should not be a reason for you to go for an MBA. Okay. Either if you're frustrated from your current job, or if you want to earn higher salary, or if you want to go into IIM ABC, or if your friends are doing it, or if you're unclear as to what to do in life, right? Because of all of these reasons, it's perfectly okay to think about something different to do, but it's not okay to think कि ये नहीं ये reason है इसलिए MBA कर लेते हैं, ठीक है? While MBA might seem like a safe option and easiest option because there are so many colleges and कुछ ना कुछ मिल सकता है. But the problem is that unless you are clear as to why you are doing that, you will still remain confused even after doing an MBA, right? The confusion, the frustration, the irritation will come back. You might be earning 5 times more, but sooner or later you will feel the burden of not doing what you would have wanted to do, right? So I'll reiterate, please use these reasons to decide कि something needs to be done. What that something could be, uska answer could be MBA, it could be something else as well. So
So I think we should summarize it. Like what should be written in this kind of question, or when they ask you what should be said. So I would put down certain points like one is of course the financial growth, other is the kickstart in finances. Then we have the social and cultural respect, the philosophical and psychological learnings. Talking to really smart people, that means a lot of networking. These things can be there, but I would like to suggest something. Write this answer in written. Everybody loves stories. So what you have to do that you have to write in such a way it looks like a story, not an entire screenplay. No, not that, not a novel, but a story. Story means that something in your life, an event which transformed you totally, and then you realize that what your strength is, and that strength is in sync with the goals that you have, and that those goals can be fulfilled only after you do an MBA. So on this note, I would like to end this session, and it was really nice interacting with both of you. We had some really insightful sessions. Hope we'll do more of it. Till then, stay tuned, subscribe to our channel.